Hey, Anomaly John 173 here. I am going to try something that I may not be able to do, and I can't believe I haven't tried this before. I'm going to try an Iron Man max difficulty, no ship, no multi-tool starter. So I'm going to go into max difficulty survival mode, and I'm going to try to get to a space station without using my starter Radiant Pillar and without using my starter multi-tool. I will allow myself to use the Radiant Pillar for inventory storage if I need it, but other than that, I can't use the ship to fly, and I cannot use my multi-tool that I start with. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, and I'm going to put it in permadeath mode. So let's just try it. Survival, all the hardest settings, permadeath. We're not doing abandoned. Everything's on the far right. We will leave the tutorial turned on. Let's try this. So if I can't use my multi-tool to collect resources, I'm going to be punching. I'm going to be ducking for cover, doing whatever I can to jump from safety spot to safety spot and try to find a ship. I have no idea how this is going to turn out. Let's just give it a try. Okay, where's the cave? Where's the cave? Where's the cave? I don't see a cave. Here's some oxygen. Let me grab it. There's some supplies up here. Notice my health is going down. Double arrows already. I'm not going to be able to do anything with this quite yet. I've got to find shelter. Notice I'm punching. Let me get up a little higher here. Do I see a cave? Do I see a cave? Is that a cave over there? I'm going to try running, even though it's going to reduce my oxygen a lot faster. But I've got to find some cover quick. I'm also looking for any raw ingredients I come across. Gosh, I'm assuming that's a cave. I can't really see it. I'm just going to have to go for it. Well, okay, here's my starter ship. I can't fly it, but I can use it for cover and I can use it for inventory storage. So let's grab what I can and let's go ahead and get in the ship. Look at this. Wait a second. This is not the Radiant Pillar. I did not plan this. I'm telling you, I did not plan this. This is a B-class ship, a fighter that I simply ran across. I know you don't believe me, but that's exactly what happened. Interesting. Hermetic seal, metal plating, pure ferrite, dihydrogen. I'm gonna claim it no matter what. And I'll get in just so I can start. Interesting. The first ship you find, no matter whether it's the Radiant Pillar or something else, which I never really thought about, it's going through the same tutorial diagnostics that it usually goes through when you're first getting started. So that's interesting. Let's go ahead and connect to my exosuit. I cannot believe, once I get to a point where I can actually scan for my ship, I may try scanning again and see if I can find how far the Radiant Pillar was from this. Okay, obviously I need to fix my scanner. Now here's what I didn't think through. What I said was I was going to do can't use the starter ship, which I completely lucked out on and just came across one. I can never think of a time that's happened in over 1,200 hours of play. I also said I wasn't going to repair my multi-tool. I was going to wait until I found a new multi-tool. So technically, if I live by that, I'm not going to repair my scanner. If I don't repair my scanner, it's going to be really difficult for me to find nearby buildings. So I'm just going to have to think about this for a minute. What am I going to do here? I know I need to find a cave still, because I need to collect cobalt so that I can create ion batteries, which will help me with my hazard protection. I can collect a little bit of ferrite dust while I'm headed towards a cave. I can collect the cobalt in a cave. Technically, if I can collect enough ferrite dust to do some metal plating, I can then create a portable refiner, and I can use that to get ferrite dust. So let me just jump out here and let me see if I can gather some ferrite dust just by punching around real quick. I'll stay close here so that I can get back to protection. Let's collect some ferrite dust. Hopefully you all remember you can punch like this to collect resources when you're not using your... Come here. When you're not using your mining beam. Let's get this part of the tutorial going. Oh, this isn't part of the tutorial. Let's search for signs of life. Send out a warning signal, maybe the one where I get nanites. I'd rather have material right now, so let's search for signs of life. Got a blueprint. Huh, great. That's actually helpful. It's going to be a while before I can do anything with it, but... All right, I've got to find a cave. Let's head over here and see if there's any cave stuff. I keep looking at that right in front of me and thinking that's a cave. I'm very hopeful. I'm going to run even though it's taking oxygen up. You know what? Let's walk. I'm not in a huge hurry right now. I'm not losing a whole bunch of hazard protection. Without my scanner, I also don't really know what direction I'm traveling. All right, I need a cave. I need oxygen, I need carbon, I need supplies to stay alive. I'm gonna have to repair my launch thrusters. I'm going to have to do enough of the tutorial that I can go get the hermetic seal. So let's jump out, stay right in front. I didn't listen to what I just told myself, did I? I need oxygen. Just be careful about it. Notice how I did that just right. I grabbed the bulb and it closed without hurting me, and then I was able to walk up and just punch it. I'll use the oxygen I've collected to build the refiner. Hopefully there's some left. I can use it for health. All right, let's take all this ferrite dust. Let's take the condensed carbon and let's build some ferrite dust. I think ferrite dust to pure ferrite is 1-to-1. So I'll wait until this makes 50 or so. And then I'll flip things around and use the ferrite dust and see if I can get the 50 pure ferrite out of that. So we'll wait just a minute here. All right, there's my pure ferrite. Let's now apply that to my pulse engine or my launch thrusters. All right, so I now have launch thrusters. Now I need the hermetic seal. How am I going to find the hermetic seal? Okay, the hermetic seal is part of the tutorial that happens when you come across the radiant pillar. I do not know for sure if that tutorial is going to continue to kick off. Okay, here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. You all can correct me in the comments after the fact. I think I need to repair the scanner in order for the tutorial to continue so I can get the hermetic seal? Gosh, that's what I'm thinking. So I was going to repair it, just not use it. However, what I can also try doing that's more survivalist is I can try just starting to wander and find a location, scavenge all the stuff that I find, and see if I actually just come across a hermetic seal, which is probably more along the lines of what I want to try to accomplish in this. So let's do that. I'm not going to repair it. I'm going to wander around until I can basically find a hermetic seal and see if I can survive. By the way, I was going to show you one thing I can do with this starship is this shield upgrade. I can dismantle that shield upgrade and get supplies for it. So I got a wiring loom, chromatic metal, yes, and sodium. I am going to venture out. I'm going to get out. I'm going to run this direction towards those raw ingredients. I'm going to get my bearings, planet to the right, hill basically kind of behind me. So I'll almost come straight back towards the hill. So let's go this way. As I was heading towards those raw ingredients, I came across a cave. So I'm going to jump back down in that cave once I come back from grabbing these ingredients, and we'll check it out. I just grabbed those frozen tubers, and you can see in my exosuit, they're good for 5% life support. So I'll keep those handy in case of emergency. And let's go right back the way I came and check out this cave. I gotta be sure to do this in a way where I don't lose my bearings. And I need to remember when I come out of the cave, again, the planet will be to my left, and I need to travel this direction to get back to my ship. Wish me luck. I do want to show you what happens if you go right up to these and try to kill them. See how I'm taking toxins very quickly? Okay, so hopefully you noticed what I did. If I had my hazmat gauntlets on, I can walk right up and collect those. But given that I don't have that, it's probably not a great idea for me to stand there and try to do it. There's some albumin pearl, so I'll go collect all that. That should be valuable for me to turn in when I find any kind of a galactic terminal. I keep trying to go up to that biohazard and hit the hazardous flora, hitting it as much as I can. I'm trying to kill it, but I'm also trying to keep an eye on my hazard protection. And when it gets low, I run back away and I'll let it recharge. And then I'll try it again. Okay, there I went back and I punched it again, and I was able to actually kill that hazardous flora. So you can do it. It just, you have to be really careful. All right, I'll keep collecting some resources down here. You know what I might do, I'll get back to the ship here and rest, but what I might do is I may wait for other ships to spawn, like they've happened a couple times now, see which direction they're flying, and maybe I could just try to, in general, follow them towards what might be a location with landing pads and supplies and things like that. I'm going to find the closest hill, and I'm going to get up on a hill, and I'm going to look around a little bit, see what I can find. Hey, I hear ships. Okay, there's ships. They're headed that direction. So kind of just to the right of the edge of that planet outline. There's my ship behind me. Let's just head this direction, and I'll keep in mind that big mountain behind me is what I want to head back towards. So let's just go a little farther up the mountain up here and see what we see. Yeah, okay, let's take a look around. Do we see anything? Okay, there's some more ships going by, but technically they're not going the same direction as the other ships did, which was over that way. So maybe my assumption that I could follow ships because they're headed towards a landing pad of some kind, maybe that's not a valid assumption, and I won't do that. Do you see those pointy things up there? There's my ship right there. There's a pointy thing over there, and there's pointy things over there. I think I'm going to head up the hill and see what that is. That could be buildings. Here we go. And I believe this will be deuterium right here, so I'll grab these and use these to try to jetpack up the hill faster. Man, look at all those ships that just showed up. Ships over there, ships there. Hey, look at that, a building. Awesome. Awesome. Let's go check it out. Maybe we'll get lucky and get something good. Really didn't find anything good here. I believe there's a cave right here. I'll go collect a few more resources, and then I'll go up over the hill to the other side of where the ship was and look at what that other antenna tower was. It might be a settlement location marker. Okay, there's the antenna tower I saw from my ship. Down there. Let's go, and there's some more tubers. Let's go check out. That looks like an antenna that will give you a settlement location. All right, here's this antenna. Again, it looks like a settlement location antenna. So let's see what it tells me. Minor settlement. 2 hours. Great. All right, let me get my bearings back to the ship now, and I'll decide what I'm going to do next. If I remember right, if I don't fully repair my starship, if I don't get the plating and the hermetic seal for the pulse engine, then when I leave the vicinity of my ship, I can't call it in if it's not repaired. So how am I going to mark the location of my ship to be able to get back to it? All right, I've decided, I think, because I'm not triggering the normal start of the tutorial by repairing the scanner, I'm never going to get to the hermetic seal unlock. So I'm going to have to find a building where I can buy one. And the first time I buy one, I think I learned the blueprint as well. I also don't know how I'm going to get back to my ship here, but I'm just going to start heading for the minor settlement. So I'll start that trek, and we'll see what I find along the way. Hopefully I can find shelter along the way, and let's go. You know, I'm basically living right now off of these hazardous flora. They're giving me the oxygen I need to keep recharging my life support. So it can be done. I'm doing it all without using my mining beam at all. It can be done. It's just a question of how the tutorial is going to work out and how long it's going to take me. Hello, is anybody home? I have no starter ship. I have no starter multi-tool. Help me. I didn't really get a lot in here. Okay, there is a wrecked freighter up here. Oh, you know what? I can't do anything here because I don't have a terrain manipulator. I can't dig anything up. So we will move on. Well, finally, I'm within 1 hour of the minor settlement. Finally, there it is. I think that's it. Wait, that might be another building, but either way, I'm headed right over there. Here we go. Oh, this is a settlement I've come across, a Viking settlement. I don't even know what I can do with the settlement yet. Well, all these guys are grumpy. There doesn't seem like there's anything I can do yet. So I'm going to keep heading for the settlement, which shouldn't be far. Another building I came across. I don't think there's going to be anything here for me. Oh boy, this is taking forever. 35 minutes away. Come on. Okay, there's the settlement down below. My inventory's full, but I've got full hazard protection, full life support. I haven't had a problem at all. No storms. I'm just hoping this trip is going to be worth it. Again, my hope is when I get here, I'm going to be able to get a hermetic seal and clean out my inventory, sell some stuff, and then figure out once I can actually get a hermetic seal, if that happens, how I can find another ship. Okay, let's do a quick test. Let's see. I do have some nav data. There's another one. Let's see if it'll actually let me call my ship in even though it's not repaired. No, I can't. Great. All right, let's see what we got going on in here. Let's collect some things. That's all I can collect. All right. Before I look at the weapon, let's sell anything I can sell and see what I got. Okay. Let's take a look at this weapon. Oh my gosh, it's an A class. I wonder how much it's going to cost. Although I could just trade my old one in, can't I? Compare. I can exchange it to save a little money. Hey, this is nice. So now I will solve my multi-tool problem. Grab this guy. I'll exchange it for the one I had. Boom. Okay. That problem is solved. I now have a non-starter multi-tool. Now I got to figure out what I'm going to do about a ship. I still don't have a hermetic seal. Let's see if I can buy one from this guy. Yes, hermetic seal. Thank goodness. Now I believe I can scan for buildings and scan. That should help me scan for possible ship locations as well. Now it does mark my ship, but boy, how far away does it mark it? 2 hours away, back the way I came. Oh goody, I'm gonna have to decide what I'm gonna do. Do I go back the way I came, albeit a little bit faster, and I can mine as I go, and go back to that ship, potentially find one on the way? Or do I do something else? I honestly think I'm going to have to return to that ship and repair that pulse engine. I mean, the luck that I had finding that ship right off the bat, I'm not sure I could ignore that. I should be able to travel a little faster now. So far, it's doable. You can start survival, max difficulty, permadeath. Can't use the starter ship, can't use the starter multi-tool. You just have to be patient. I've been living pretty much off of raw ingredients, frozen tubers for additional life support, pulpy roots, and heptaloid wheat for additional hazard protection. Trying to make sure I've had plenty of sodium, carbon, oxygen, but I've been living off the raw ingredients, which is great. I have a stack of over 50 ion batteries. I haven't used a one, so totally doable. You just have to be patient. Headed back to my ship, the 2-hour trip, taking a slightly different route. I just came across another minor settlement, different from the one I just left. So let's go check this one out and see if I can get maybe, luckily, some chromatic metal or copper or something, so I can upgrade my jetpack to make my trips a little shorter. I'm going to take a rest in this cave here, let my hazard protection restore, wait for a game save point to make sure that the latest greatest save is done as I'm headed back to my ship. And then we'll get back to the ship and we will get that thing repaired finally. Don't want to mess with this. I'll just go right on by. Maybe do a save right here. Looks like another location that might be guarded by sentinels. I don't want to mess with that yet. All right, I'm only 17 minutes away from getting back to my ship after a 2-hour trek. Out and back. 2 hours out, 2 hours back. Well, let's get there. Little place to stop here on the way. Maybe I can take a little breather. It's been a long trek. Nope. Reinforced. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm getting back to my ship. Okay, I'm 1,000 units away. Finally back to my ship. And there it is. The ship is in sight again. I walked 2 hours away to a minor settlement to get hermetic seals. Along the way, I also was able to pick up a B-class multi-tool. So I now no longer have my starter multi-tool. This is not my starter ship. So I'm going to get this repaired, and then 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Long slog. But this will complete the first part of this challenge, which is no starter ship, no starter multi-tool. Yes! Seems to still want to go through the tutorial. That's okay. I now have a hermetic seal to repair this thing. So now I have a B-class ship. There's my... Oh, it's an A-class multi-tool. I forgot. I'm now ready to figure out what's next on this journey. I may fly around here for just a minute and see if I can find the radiant pillar, just to see how close it was to my original location. But then I'll fly up to the closest space station and take a little break. Yes, here's the incoming message. 16s. Identify myself. I'm not alone. Follow the signal. I will do that after I visit the station. And there's the space station. Okay. I'm going to get out. I'm going to sell. I'm going to buy. I'm going to look around a little bit, see if by chance there's a translucent traveler here, get my bearings, and then we'll continue on this challenge. Hopefully this proves max difficulty, hardest settings, no starter ship, no starter multi-tool is doable. I did not even find the radiant pillar. I was lucky enough to find another ship first. However, because of the way the tutorial works, I had to walk around, find a minor settlement that was 2 hours away. I had to trek 2 hours on foot in order to get to the settlement, and actually then I was able to buy a hermetic seal so I could finish repairing the ship that I found. While I was at that minor settlement, I was also able to find a multi-tool and buy it. I had salvaged enough salvage data along the way that I had enough money. So 2 hours to get the hermetic seal, and then the trek 2 hours back, made it back. Now I'm here. It's totally doable. I lived off of raw ingredients quite a bit. It was actually not as hard as I thought it would be. And it was actually kind of fun. It's a great way to get started small, really pay more attention to the terrain, pay more attention to the small parts of the game. You know, how you're managing your running and your jetpack, how you're managing your inventory, using raw ingredients. It's actually a pretty fun way to start. Makes you feel like you earned it.